My demo today, so most of you are going to work in pencil, but if you happen to have charcoal, this is a really great subject for charcoal. By the way, Olga, just joined Unsplash. Oh my God, I'm addicted. What a fantastic site. All this free,
Yeah.
It's incredible.
What is it called?
It's called unsplash.com. It's free reference photos that people post from all over the world. And the quality is just incredible. So I went through and pulled a whole bunch of stuff that we'll be painting and drawing over the next couple of weeks.
So Unsplash, UN.
Yeah, Unsplash.
I will just send a link.
Yeah, send a link. That would be great. It's addictive. Diana, you will be captivated, honestly. So if you're looking for anything, Diana, like food carts or whatever, anything that you need for photo references of that you can use because people have given permission for that. It's really awesome. So this is an Unsplash photo. It's a girl. I'll dig up her name. It's a young woman. And what I like about it is, although we know what it is, right? It's a glass of water on a table. It's got a lot of interesting shapes that I think are going to move us in the direction of light and darks, shadows, that kind of thing. You can see in some places you can't even really see the line of the cup, right? The edge of the cup sort of disappears in some areas. So I thought this would be a really fun one to do. It's a slightly abstracted. It'll be a challenge for you. So for those who are going to do this as a pencil drawing, as always, you're going to get a sheet of paper. The sheet of paper should be, it's 21 point, if it's 8.5 by 11 inches, or if you're using centimeters, you should be blocking off a 21.5 by 28 centimeter proportions, like a rectangle. If you don't have a ruler, you're going to take a plain piece of paper, cut down to that size, and you're going to fold it 4 times like this. So 1, 2. If you don't have a ruler, if you have a ruler, you're not going to do this. You're going to do something else, but watch while we do this. All right, so it's about this size, little rectangle. And when you open it up, you'll see that the paper is divided into 16 equal rectangles. So you can then just take any straight edge. Here, hold on, pull that up, right? You can take any straight edge. I don't know, the side of your paper, right? Something like this. And you can redraw those lines in with pencil. So you have a grid, right? So you have your grid. So you're going to create something. And if you struggle to see these lines, which sometimes happens because of the folds, I'll refold it like that. And this is just if you're doing this. I don't know if anybody's doing this today, but somebody who's watching might be doing this because you might not have a ruler. So you're creating a grid of equal rectangles on your paper. I'm going to do the same thing with the marker in just a minute on our source. And then I will show you your first lines, but then I'm going to demonstrate for you how you would do this in charcoal, because this is an awesome charcoal piece. So this is what you're all trying to create. I'm going to recreate a similar grid. Where's my ruler? My wooden ruler, easier to read. Ah, here we are. If you're using a ruler, you will take what I'm doing with my with the source here and a marker. You're going to do on a blank piece of paper with your pencil. I'm going to find the halfway point. So I notice I've lined this edge up of the ruler up with the edge of the paper. The whole thing is 8.5 inches, which means the halfway point is 4.25. Or if you're using centimeters, it's 21.5 divided by 2. And I'm marking 4.25 at both the top and the bottom so that I can then take my ruler, line them up and draw. That's like the first fold. The second fold is the halfway point on the long side. So notice once again, I'm lining up my ruler very carefully so I make sure my measurements are correct. This is 11 inches, half of that is 5.5. It's 28 centimeters, so half of that is 14. You can kind of flip back and forth between centimeters and inches, whatever's easier for you. Fold number 2. And then folds number 3 and 4 are going to be the halfway point of each halfway. So here, that's 2.2 on the short side. Notice I'm not going in the middle. I'm really going to each edge. And then these marks help me see where to line up my paper. If you're going to go and with charcoal with me, just hang tight. I'll give you some options for that. 2.75 is the halfway point, or 7 if you're using centimeters. 5. So the grid is kind of a crutch that helps us get like beginning drawers kind of up to speed on where things are. Eventually, you're going to want to move away from the grid and try to sort of guesstimate where things are. But at the very beginning, we struggle. Oh, that's nice, Olga. That's really cool. This, like at the very beginning, the struggle is to know that when you look at something, you often make it too big. So people will locate things in the wrong place. That it's very common to do that. And if you do that, don't feel bad. It's not a terrible thing at all. It's just absolutely how it is. And then I'm going to start with our base. I'm going to start with our outside sketches. Don't ask me what this is. I don't know. But it's definitely a dramatic light and dark area. So we're going to start with these major light and dark shapes. These are the shapes you're going to start with. I'll send a picture across the thread. Wow, Olga, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, Unsplash is amazing. And these are great. And yeah, we'll probably use 1 or 2 of these. They're wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to pull this down. So those of you can see, if you're using the grid, you're going to start. You're just going to start by using the outlines. Hold on. Why is it taking so long? Slow today. Whoops. My poor little phone. I feel like I totally abuse it. Here we go. You're going to start by trying to match where these lines, these red lines that I've drawn, intersect with your grid, right? So the grid is helping you. The point of the grid is to help you see, oh yeah, this comes right about here. You can even give yourself little dots to help you draw the line. All right. So has everybody kind of gotten started on that who's working in pencil? Are you ready to have your minds blown? Charcoal. So charcoal. I'm gonna move this paper out of the way. And I'm happy to teach a class where we all have these, but I just want to show you how it works first. So this paper is newsprint. It has a very, very different consistency than the printer or the drawing paper that you're using. The drawing paper you're using is like kind of stiff, and newsprint is very flimsy. It is, in fact, what newspapers are printed on, right? You remember what those are? Like all of you reporters, right? Who are like, all of you who are, many of you of whom are reporters, but like, you know, when was the last time you actually had a story printed in newsprint? My first 3 jobs as a reporter. My first 6 years in the business. I was a newspaper reporter for 10 years full time. And my first 6 years, I worked for small daily papers where like, yeah, I mean, you know, we could go back to the press room and see this thing rolling off the press. It was a trip. What a wonderful experience, and so crazy to me to think that it's, I mean, definitely you can still see news, you know, obviously there's still newspapers, but a lot more is online. Okay, so what is charcoal? Charcoal, and I'm not talking about a charcoal pencil. Okay, this is charcoal. Number one, kind of messy. Look at what it's doing to my hands already. It's very light. What charcoal is basically is burnt wood. So in fact, I have a student who gets all her charcoal. She lives on a farm. She gets all her charcoal from the wood pile that burns, right? That is like where they're burning wood, extra wood all the time. She just pulls it literally right out of there. This brand is one of my favorite. It's called Bob's Fine Vine Charcoal, made from select Northwest hardwoods. So I live in the Pacific Northwest. We have a lot of trees. A lot of them burn down because of fire. Anyway, some die. You know what I mean? Like all of them die eventually. So this is like red. This is made from a redwood. You might also see vine, which is grapevine, or you might see, oh crap, what's the other name? Willow. Yeah. So willow is vine. Willow is vine, and the grapevine is, help me guys, what's the name of grapevine?
This is the one I have. It's really good.
Yeah, they are really wonderful. So you can see, and they look different. Sometimes they're round. They're kind of pulled. This is like squares, kind of fat, blocky things. But the thing that's the same about them is that they make these really beautiful. Here, hold on. I'm gonna get a piece that isn't wrinkled. Here, I think I tore something. Easier not to have that happen. All right, let's do this. I'm really glad I have like 2 hours for class, because I feel like half the time I'm just kind of setting, you know, going, oh no, I don't need that. I actually need this. Wow, I'm sort of messing around trying to get everything set up. Okay, so you can see it makes this beautiful mark. And so if you're using charcoal, you're going to actually start by doing what we call toning the paper dark. I'm going to show you a couple of other things on the piece below. There is also something called compressed charcoal. I've got a little bit here. You can really tell, I don't know if you can see this. This is really light. See, it almost kind of shines in the sun. This is a very dense, heavy, it feels more like a pastel than charcoal. They'll feel different. And compressed charcoal is not something you want to do this technique with, because if you try to do compressed charcoal with this, you can't get rid of it. So compressed charcoal is a great thing to use, but towards the end of the process, when you kind of know where everything is, you want some darks to be particularly dark. So no charcoal, you can see this is not a charcoal pencil technique. It's the opposite. It's anti-charcoal pencil. It is a very different. We're not going for the charcoal pencil in this experience. So there are 2 ways to do this. If you want to, you can absolutely grid. So, okay, let me go back a bit. So the great thing about charcoal is that we are starting from, and by the way, I also don't have the kneaded eraser. So I've got this crazy purple thing. It's all black on the outside, which is what I'm going to use today. We actually start by erasing, not drawing. So with a pencil. So we're going to start by sketching out our latest items. Give me 1 second, you guys. I will be right back. My door just blew open here. 1 second. So this makes drawing. So if you want to, you can create a grid using your eraser. Right? Just like this, finding the halfway point. I'm not going to do it myself, but I'm going to start it so I can show you. If you want to, you can create a grid. Let me get these straight. Where you also find the halfway point, right? Like 4.5. Did I get this right? Yes. You know, 2 point. I can do this. I can do this and with an eraser, draw my lines. So if you want to, you are welcome to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take my chances, just eyeballing it. So what we do with the charcoal is we look for the lightest areas and we start erasing them out. So let's see, 1, 2. So I'm doing a couple of things to kind of, I think that's about right. So this is a little bit more like painting. It is drawing, absolutely. But it's a little bit more like painting as a drawer, if that makes any sense at all. So you'll notice I'm kind of coming in. I'm a little bit guessing where things are. I might not have them all exactly in the right places. Hey. That was you know who. So notice how I'm kind of moving around the composition, grabbing the lights. It's already sort of compelling looking, isn't it? Kind of crazy. I'm going in. Let's see, 1. I'm going to see this. Right, that's about right. Notice how you'll see that what I'm doing is as I'm establishing the lengths of things, I'm using it to measure other things. So from here to here. Yep. It's an estimate thing. So it's a one step up in the drawing progression. But I feel like the first thing you need to do is get this lesson in where things really are, which is usually not where you think they are. So see, I'm really pulling out all the lights with my eraser. And then once I've done the major lights, where's my charcoal? With a very light charcoal piece, I'm going to go in and add some darks in and maybe some stronger lines. So a few things you'll learn about charcoal right away is how malleable it is. How much you can change it up. The other thing is, look at how much I am not paying attention to anything other than dark and light shapes. So I'm kind of moving around. See how quickly the cup is starting to come out? I bet you guys are still like doing this. By the way, once you've done this, of course, you're going to go in and get some of the dark and light shapes. So let me sketch those in for you, because I'm going to be able to do this so fast. You're all going to be like, holy cow. Right? Because it's charcoal. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm starting to pull out some of the variations of light and dark here, right? So as you're, here, I'll take a picture of that so you can really see it. Here we go. Here's that cup with some of the major light and dark shapes outlined. So then, of course, you're going to outline those and yada, 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 go on, start coloring your light, coloring in. How do you like that? For a sophisticated art term, you're going to color in your light, mediums, and your darks. Look at how quickly my cup is starting to come out. How long have I been working? About 5 minutes. As I start to highlight the lights and darks, and I add in
Oh.
Isn't that wild? Maybe nobody finds this as fascinating as I do, but I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm just like, look at this. Look at how fast this is going. Right now, I may have to add some lights back in. Notice how my toning is sort of helping pull. So there's my cup pretty quickly. And now I can start. So I think you're going to find hard and soft edges are a little bit easier. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I want you to be able to see this whole thing. Hard and soft edges are easier. What you're gonna start doing is pulling out the major light and darks and then going back in and erasing and adding like more detail with the tip and the edge of your painting. Yeah, I don't know, Diana, maybe they're not, maybe nobody's impressed. That's all right. You don't have to be impressed. I just think, look, there's a cup. It's not all the details yet.
No, it looks good.
But it's pretty significantly there in about 5 minutes. Then I can go back in here and start adding in some more light detail, right, with my eraser. I could go back and forth with my eraser. If I make my line too big, I can kind of scrub it out with my finger. If I lose my contrast, I can kind of add it back in. If I had a kneaded eraser, I would be able to do even more. I'd be able to make even skinnier lines. Let's see, what can I do here? So I'm still I'm demonstrating this technique so you guys can see it. Like I said, if you don't have the materials, of course you can't do it. But if it's something you want to do, I'd highly encourage you to do it. And even if you're not doing it, I would highly encourage you to look at the technique because it will inform your pencil drawing, I think, in a very effective way. Because it's going to show you that if the quicker you get to those bigger dark shapes, the better your whole composition is going to be. Now I can start kind of pulling in. How many values would you guess are in this black and white photo?
Five.
Yeah, at least 5. If not, maybe even more, right? Like possibly.
Yeah, it's really dark there in the back too.
Yeah. Also, you'll notice that once you get into it, this is actually kind of one of those square cups that's got this kind of cut crystal thing happening. You can start to add that in. So there's a lot of what we call lost edge. Look at how I can create this texture that really mimics what's happening here. It's kind of interesting to me how the cup edge sort of disappears and reappears at the top, the rim. May not be able to get it. We'll see. So I'm actually ripping my eraser to shreds so I can see if I can get a better line. We'll see. So the idea of this is that although this is a still life, it's pretty abstract. There's a lot of like soft edges, lost edges. The shapes are kind of surprising how they play out. Not how you would think necessarily, your left brain would think anyway. It's like, how do you'll notice that more and more you're paying attention to edges, because the only way I can really show like the difference between here and here is to really get that hard, dark edge here underneath this lighter, frothy top area. And interesting, this is kind of, you'll notice sometimes lines will start out dark and they'll become lighter, just sort of as they go down. You also have the original photo. So if I've covered up too much with lines, you can go back. Okay, and at some point I am going to turn this upside down. And in fact, I think that point is now. So go ahead and turn your drawing. Hi, Mira. Go ahead and turn your drawing upside down here. Get this over a little bit. So does anybody have any interest in trying charcoal at some point?
Yep, I'm doing it.
Awesome. You have it around. You'll see news. So it all is like the materials, right? Like newsprint, this soft, lovely paper. If I turn this upside down, I can kind of see where the shape of my thing is off. I can see that I've got this a little too low. In fact, maybe I don't have this whole thing high enough. Let's see, 1, 2. So the first thing is the distance from here to here. Oh, interesting. That's not what I expected. The distance from here to here is the same, a little bit, not too much wider than the mouth of the cup. So I clearly, let's see here. Yep, that is interesting. 1. Oh yeah, no, it's in pretty good shape. And then I can try this. 2, 3, 4. So this 2, this needs to come down a little bit. So you see how I can adjust things. Actually, I think this is probably up a little too high. So where's my halfway point? That's where my halfway point is. So you see how I'm adjusting my shapes using the measurements I've already established. So I can see that this needs to come up a little bit because I need this shape in here. So you're going to spend a lot of time looking at negative space. And sometimes you're not going to be sure what's negative space and what's like not negative space. So see how I can start to adjust. Hi, Tashween. I always feel like you slip in, Tashween, when I don't see you. I'm like, how'd she get here? When did she get here? Awesome. See how easy it is to kind of blend out if you're not happy with your lines? You can kind of just take them out with your finger and redraw them. Ooh, did you guys see what Will James just posted? This pastel he did? That is on Instagram. Wow, he's really on fire. I love to see people do their own work beyond the classroom. I think it's totally exciting. So I like images like this because they encourage us to think more about shape than about what we're drawing. Anybody having that experience right now? Kind of forgetting what the thing is that you're drawing and really just focusing on the shape. Weird? Are you, I can feel like, are you like, oh my God, this is strange? Also, it really makes your hands kind of messy.
I'm just thinking, I just genuinely can't talk.
Yeah. That's great. Great. Keep going. That's where we want you. You're in right brain. Yes. I'll let you guys get into that. Hang on. Eventually, I'll show you ink and your minds will be blown even more. Let's see. Hang on there. Sometimes I lose WhatsApp and I have to go find it. Come here, you. There we go. Yeah, coming along, Tashween. Now you're going to, of course, start darkening your darks and your lights, right? Work with your darkest areas first. By the way, there's at least one edited beginning watercolor video up for everybody who missed it. And another one coming soon.
When are those classes?
Those are on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So after work your time, Jane, where are you? You're in Toronto? No, Jersey. Where are you?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, that's right. Sorry, you totally told me that at the beginning of class. So the after work class would be, it's going to start at 6:30 EST on Thursdays.
On Thursdays only.
No, it's on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but it's at all different times because it's at after work time. So on Wednesday, it's at 9 o'clock your time, 9 p.m. And on Friday, it's at 11 a.m. your time.
Got it. So
Yeah. Thursdays, yes. Thursdays is probably when you're most likely able to make it. By the way, for anybody who comes to the Thursday class, we are going to push the start time up to, it was a 6 p.m. EST start time, 3 p.m. PST. It's going to be 6:30 p.m. because people were saying they're struggling to get out of work by 6:30. Diana and I know on the West Coast, everyone was like, it was hilarious. On the West Coast, I was like, should we start the class a little bit later? And people were like, no, start at 6 o'clock. But I know East Coast is a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be.
But it's also because they're under pressure from the West Coast, which is still open.
Right. That's true. Like if you're in markets or something, totally. But yes, West Coast tends to be a little bit more easy go. Like there's a different work-life balance, I would say, on the West Coast.
They get the pressure in the morning.
Right. Yeah. So East Coast, I'll send a note out to all the coordinators who will send it out in the schedule, and I'll make the schedule change everywhere. Let's see. Oh, coming along, Diana, very nicely. So Diana, you see how nicely that background is working for you right now?
Yeah.
It may not be your final background, but it's helping you to finish the cat so that then you can nuance the background.
Yeah,
but I like it.
I'm not sure about the cat. I mean, the cat in real life is gray, but I feel like I should keep these kind of colors.
We can just glaze it back a couple layers to mute it a little bit. So you could take like, I don't know, like even Payne's gray is very blue. You can mix a gray glaze, right? And once you get the purples on, you could glaze over the top with a little bit of gray just to slightly grayify the colors. And I think it would be just fine. So let's talk about that at the very end when you're done. Let's try mixing a glaze and glazing over, and then you can even wipe it out in the places that you don't want it. But I think that will help push it back just the little bit that it needs, so that you can maintain those colors, but still have the eye feel there's some gray there.
Okay, I might try that.
Yeah, I'll help you with it when you're ready to take that on.
I think I'm ready to glaze it.
All right, then try like, do you have Prussian blue or Payne's gray?
Yeah.
Maybe try a little bit of that with some burnt sienna.
Okay.
And a touch of either of those with burnt sienna and a touch of white, just to see, not a lot of white, just a little bit to see what happens. The other thing you could do, of course, that would be neat would be a purple and a ochre mix, which would really go. So you could try either. Actually, you might want to try that. You might want to do a mixed purple and then add a little bit of ochre and white and try that glaze too, because you've already got purple in there.
You said purple
And yellow ochre.
ochre.
Yeah, try that one first, actually. That might go better. And a touch of white, not too much, but just a touch.
Let me see what color it gets. It gets kind of poop colored.
But remember, yeah, just add a little bit more purple, add a little bit of white. Try the other ones then. Try Prussian and burnt sienna and a touch of white. That might be more dramatic.
Yeah, this one didn't work.
Okay.
Well, maybe if I add some Payne's gray to it.
Yeah, maybe try and blew it out a little bit.
Yeah, there. That I think.
Less poop like.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I can totally see it. Just laughing. So then her secret is mixing a poop colored glaze over everything.
Leah, can I ask, it's Jane, can I ask a
Yes.
question about watercolors? And I apologize if you covered it in the actual class, but
Mhm.
I couldn't find, I found everything on your list, but I couldn't find the funky, exciting big brush.
Oh, you couldn't? I mean,
I forget now what it's called, but
it's the Perla, La Perla, this one.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Perla Escoda.
Escoda, thank you. Sorry, Perla is the type. The Escoda, yeah. I don't know what to tell you other than you can keep looking. You can get something this is what it looks like.
Jackson's
So-
in the UK has got them, and
Jackson's got them. I feel like Blick has them.
imported in the US by Speedball Art.
I love this. I love that you know that, Sandra.
Because I've been looking into brushes.
Yeah.
These are
sorry.
the best
I'm
brushes.
sorry, Sandra, what did you say?
They're imported in the US by Speedball Art.
They do
Yeah.
a lot of ink
Amazon
stuff.
carries them. Dick Blick carries them. Jackson's
Artists
in the
and
UK. I've got-
craftsmen. Like they're kind
I've
of in
got the-
they're in every art store. So
I
and-
don't leave the house.
right. But I mean, the point being that like if you go on the art store websites or even I found one on Amazon. So I would say anyway, this is what it looks like. And what it does is, as you can see, comes right up to a point. Sorry if I'm blocking everybody's way. It comes right up to a point, a very skinny point. So you'll notice, and I told everybody this the other day, but I'll show you again. So my preference for when I'm working with oil and watercolor is to use brushes that look like this. No, that's not enough of it. I might have to go get one. I don't think I have one exactly on me. They're more scruffy, right? They're more ragged. See the difference between these two? Look at the difference between these. This is their profiles, right? This one's, I really prefer this for working with acrylic and oil because I want the ability to make sort of soft, scruffy edges. But with watercolor, I want a smoother, sharper image because I know my scruffiness will come from just the paint and the pigment in the water interacting with the textured paper. So I don't need to worry about creating the texture here. So I want a brush that kind of pins in, it gets up real smooth and tight. And it's wide enough so I can do big strokes and little strokes. But yeah, you'll also, if you look at so Jane, you should look at the watercolor basics video because we did some practice on mixing and stroke making and what you use and how you use it. Like it'll be a good one. I'll of course go over that stuff again, but that lesson is a particularly good one to review just for all the materials and the techniques and how to use them.
Perfect.
Also, there's a really torturous exercise on painting a sphere, which will make everything else seem easy after. Let's see. By the way, for most people in this class who work for Thomson Reuters, there is a new, I'm pretty sure there's a new website, art gallery at the top, on the company page, homepage somewhere. I'm trying to get a fix on where it is, but because I'm not a company employee, I don't think I can get it. I think it's in your intranet. And everybody here who works for Thomson Reuters has a piece featured. I definitely, Mira, you've got one. Jane, you've got one. I think Stephanie, I
cool.
put one of
I'll have to
yours.
check it
Although, oh
out.
no, wait, you're BuzzFeed, so I did not. Yeah, so you should go take a look and see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd like to do Julia, yours is up. Sandra, Nina, I put one of yours up. So you should go and take a look at it. This is your best work. Hannah, I don't remember if I put one of yours up, but I tried to get everybody who has, kind of consistent. Oh God, definitely yours is, you've got a piece up. So go and take a look at it because it's kind of showcasing the best work of the last 3 months, of which there was a lot. So.
Okay.
I think it helped a little bit actually with the glaze.
Just to just to sort of keep it not quite so, while maintaining all the same colors, but just keeping it a little bit less Andy Warhol pop art-y, right?
I don't mind being compared to Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol, right. But like you're wanting a slightly more realistic, you're wanting a more nuanced color palette.
I'm gonna send it.
Cool. Let's see. Also, if any of you have kids, there is at the same time as the pastel landscape class tomorrow, there is a kids class. It's not free, but it's $10 a class. And right now, Emma is teaching the kids, so it's ages 7, maybe 6 to 13, is teaching them how to draw faces. And so if your kid wants to do that, let me know. Here, I can put the registration link up in the chat screen. Actually, I'm going to do this in the WhatsApp thread because it's probably easier to see. Oh, yeah. I do think it helped, Diana. So it maintained everything you have, but it just muted things a little tiny bit. Very nice. You can register for it here. Is this a commission, Diana, or is this just for you?
No, it's a commission.
Oh, nice.
It's a commission.
Helps to have a deadline. Okay, so Cambium Gallery, I'm just checking to make sure this link works. Yep, is the, so the abstract painter will be teaching classes here starting in June or July. Which I'm really stoked about since I don't do that at all. So I think it'll be really exciting. We've got about an hour, so we've got plenty of time left. We've been working about an hour. You've got plenty of time to work on this. If you finish this, you can pick up another drawing and start working on that, one of your previous drawings that you started and didn't finish. But in the meantime, notice that you've probably forgotten the time. Like the time doesn't really have the same meaning for you as it normally does. I think we're normally kind of hyper aware of time. When we're doing art, we're in a very present space. And that is a good space to get into when you can. Doesn't happen very often, but when you can do it, it's great.
Ay.
What's that?
I put on whiskers and it looks so weird.
You often have to put those in and trim them back, remember.
Yeah, I think I have to do something.
Send it over.
Yeah. cat looked much better without whiskers.
Let's see. Okay. Just glaze them. Just
Yeah.
glaze them. They're just too bright. Remember, white is the thing that pops out the most. So you need to add
Yeah.
them in and then glaze them back.
Yeah, that's
Just glaze it back.
okay. I'll let it dry then.
Yeah, let it dry. Is this your kitty?
No.
Yes.
Nice.
I
Nice,
was working
Mira.
with my cat.
How
Yeah.
wonderful. Great. So you gave yourself your own assignment, which is totally fine. I think that's
No,
great.
this was I did it over the weekend. I'm still working on the one we are doing
Oh,
today, but this I did over the
nice.
weekend.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Good.
looks like
Yeah,
a young kitty.
So
Is it-
that's the original one. I'll send the original one.
Yes, let's see the
She's
picture.
19 years old actually.
19?
my.
Yeah.
Wow, she looks fantastic for 19. Well
He
done.
really
Yeah.
does.
It looks
Oh,
like a kitten.
oh,
As a
that's a
human,
cat.
when you have a cat that old, you're doing something right.
Right. I was going to say that
So
is
well
a
done.
well cared for cat. That is a
Exactly.
very well
She's a
cared for
house
cat.
cat. So yeah.
What
I
a
want
cutie
Julia
pants.
to live till she's 19.
I know I want Muka. Muka's 14 now, and I want her to live a long time too. I'm like, please, Muka, hang on.
Yeah. Should totally have done the whiskers in another color. Well,
Wonderful. I love seeing everybody's projects. This is really great.
you're not dry yet.
Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, Julia, how do you like it? That looks wonderful. Are you enjoying it?
It's just great. It's so fast, isn't it?
It's so fast. Yes, it pushes you fast. So here's the lesson that you take from that. All your mark making can be like that. I mean, maybe not quite as fast as charcoal because it covers so quickly, but if you focus on the major light and dark areas, that goes quickly, right? Then everything else, what's nice is charcoal adds this texture in here, right? That you don't really need. Like there's all these kind of soft, scruffy areas happening here, and they get really enhanced by the pastel. It's or the charcoal. I keep saying pastel. Sorry, you know what I mean. Wonderful. Do something else.
I was trying to do the shed earlier. You know, the one we did.
Oh yeah.
I joined late in my first acrylics class. It was a bit of a disaster.
Excellent. Yes, the old barn. Great.
Yeah, I struggled because I think on the first one, it was like half of the recording was missing.
Ah.
So there was a whole load of stuff I just kind of made up. And,
Okay. Well, we'll send it over when you want to take a look at it, and
I haven't done the shed, but I did the trees and the clouds, and it's a bit of a mess.
So the first lesson isn't there. Is that what you're saying to me? Like,
I think it's 59 minutes, and then on your main site, you know, the one that's open to the public, it looked like it was an hour and 42, but you had.
Oh, maybe that's a problem.
Yeah,
I'll go back and look at it. So it was lesson. So just to be clear, it was a lesson that you attended, or the one that you didn't attend, the first one. Okay, part one. Let me go back and see. I'll go back and see. It might have just been a problem with how the upload went. Like,
yeah, Leah, I tried to do that one too, and it doesn't.
And you couldn't find it. Okay, what happened was there was one weekend where my video editor wasn't around, so she couldn't upload the few. Anyway, I thought I had uploaded them, but they are. I'll go find it. I'll find it and make sure, and I'll fix that. I'll make sure.
Yeah, because it looked like it was longer on the main site. It was 142.
Yeah, because she posts on the main site, and then let me look at that.
142. It was still it was the same. It was 59 minutes.
I'm just looking. No, you're right. There's a problem there. She had a problem in getting it over to me. So what happens is I have to download the videos, then upload them to a shared folder with her. Then she edits them, puts them on the site, and then brings it back, and then gives it back to me to download and then put back up on the YouTube channel. So it might be, as you can see, there's many places for problems here. Let me go ask her. Editing a red. Oh yeah, because definitely that. So this one needs to go. Deletes that one. Yeah, we had a problem. So is this is the one for the Friday class?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'll get the new one. I'll get him to.
So I had a go at the trees and stuff and the clouds, but it was a bit of a mess. And I haven't
All right.
the grass or the shed.
Let me. Okay, that's unlisted. That's. Yeah, so painting an old cabin in a right also. Okay, that's interesting. Just looking to see what's here. I'll just ask her to re-upload it and I'll So it's painting an old barn in acrylic part 1. That's what we need. I see one that's 1:53, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Here, I'll show it to you. It's right here. I'm looking at it.
Is that part 1 or part 2?
Part 1. Part 1, it's 1:53, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Here, I'm going to send it over. Let's see, I'm going to send it to myself and drop it into the thread so you can have it there. Hang on, give me a minute. Okay. Here, I'll drop it into the thread. It's 1 hour and 53. So maybe you just didn't go far enough, or maybe there are 2. Ooh, yeah. Hannah. Nice. So Hannah, I want you to pay attention. Are you working upside down? Hannah T, are you working upside down?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I want you to pay attention to your shapes. I want you to notice, I'm going to show this up, put this upside down so you can see that. Hang on. I'm going to put this upside down so you can see this. All right. this shape and this shape are not the same as what's happening, right? Can you see that? This one and this one. You have this very skinny. This is actually quite fat and wide. In fact, it's as wide, it's as far as down as this part. This is way too wide. It's way too long. Do you see what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yep. So I want you to correct that. Pay attention. What happened was you stopped thinking about the space in between, right? The negative space. The other thing, although there's things I like about this, so don't get me wrong. I dig what's happening over here. Also, this, there's something, this comes down too low. So if you notice, you have this, the other thing that's happening is this cup is too long. So you have it coming down too low. There's a white space here that's also part of the thread. So you want to end, your cup really ends about here. So you can go ahead and make those corrections. And I think you're going to be you're going to be really pleased. Ooh, Tashween. Yeah. You like it? Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's really messy though.
Yeah, it's really fast. So now it gives you plenty of time to work on other stuff. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, Julia, that barn turned out great. Oh, wait a minute. So it was the red barn. It wasn't the old barn. Okay, hang on. That's what I went to the wrong one.
Yeah,
Hold on. It's the red barn, not the old barn. A red barn and a, oh, you're right. Look at that. Let me, okay, I'm going to delete this. I'll ask her to upload it again. Something just happened in the translation of that. So painting a barn, but painting a red barn, we didn't get. All right, I'll send her a text right now. Maybe she can send it over. Yeah, so those of you who tried charcoal, talk to me about the difference. What's the difference between charcoal and pencil? Can you put it in words?
It's back to front, isn't it? You start with dark and then you carve out your lights.
Well, I have you, yeah, right, yes. So you start with this dark sort of tone and then pull your lights out, as opposed to putting your darks in first. And yes, okay, what else? Great observation.
You can cover large spaces fast.
Yeah. Does it help you think differently about drawing? Were you able to see shapes more?
Yeah, maybe.
It's easier to find the edges because you can blend. easier.
Yes. The blending is fantastic, isn't it? Just take your little finger and blend, make a soft. Yes, the blending. I think it's easier to see the shapes. I mean, you go fast and they're very dramatic pictures. They've got a real picturely quality, right? Painterly quality to them because you're really focusing not on every single detail, but just the darks layers. All right, so hold on. Let me text over Holly to see if she can send me a new. The edited. It is also possible that I might have forgot to record part of that. So I'll ask her. Maybe it's possible that I did forget to record half of that. That's very possible, ladies, which I'm sorry about. It sometimes happens. But let's see what happens if she can send me something better.
I think it cut off because you were in the middle of talking and then it kind of stopped.
That there might have been, all right. So it's possible there was a problem. I did have a video malfunction where, because I guess my computer had too many videos on it. It's possible that happened there, but let me see if my editor has something. If not, then maybe it's just gone. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes that does happen, but I like it that you're looking. Thanks for looking. But you're right. If she had a longer one, then it could just be.
It looked longer, but then when I downloaded it, it wasn't. It said 142.
It's possible. Oh, you know what? It's possible that like it was cut in two and I had Holly edited it together. Anyway, I'll find out what's going on. Thank you for letting me know. I will check that.
What I realized when I was doing that was that I probably should have gone back and started with trees and clouds and the basics, because my brush.
Yes. This is the end of that section. So we've done all those in pieces. Okay, Jane, take a look up here on the screen.
Yep.
So I'm turning this upside down so you can see this, and I'm blowing it up. So I want you to, okay, so this, I'm going to look at a couple of things. All right, so one, the first thing I'm checking is do you have the right proportions? This cup is too thin. And the reason I know this, so either you haven't followed the lines correctly. I don't think you put the lines in the right place. So do you have a grid, or did you try to eyeball it?
No, I not only have a grid, but I have new 8.5 by
11-inch paper. So you don't have these in quite the right place on the grid. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So this from here to here should be the same distance as this. See that? Now, if you check and see yours, it is not. It's much narrower here. So this needs to come out more on either side. That's thing one. This comes up a little too. So really pay attention to this shape, and this shape as you're drawing it. Look at them in relation to each other here.
Yep.
Right? So do those corrections. All right. I think you're going to like that. I think that's going to help a lot.
Excellent. Thanks.
Yes. Oh, somebody is acting like a total baby. Give me just a second. Come here, you little baby. He's crying, and come here. Come here and say hello. Then I'm going to put you outside. Oh, here he is. Here's the baby. Here you are, little baby. Oh, yes. Here. I know I'm obsessed with my cat, but he's a lot of work. Here he is. Hi, everybody.
He doesn't look a lot of work like this.
He looks very mellow.
Always gets mellow when I put him in this position. He just like totally, but he was just running around screaming and crying because I would have let him out or do whatever it was. So
My second daughter, my second child, we referred to as Velcro baby, because if she was Velcro to the front of me, she was great.
she was cool. But isn't that why they invented those Snugglies? Because they say the babies are like used to being inside mom, and then like they need at least a year of being right at the same place but outside. So
I think that's true. But you also can just simply carry them.
you could simply carry them, Velcro baby. I love it. By the way, these are great. You guys are doing great. Don't take me correcting you as you doing something wrong. Or don't take doing something wrong as being a problem. Doing something wrong is awesome. Oh, yes. Hang on. I'm going to pop him outside. I'll be right back. Let you keep going. I just got a text from Holly. She's going to try and upload that again. So it takes a little while, take a couple hours, but we'll get it done.
Thanks.
The drive. Okay, cool. So I appreciate you guys that you are continuing to spend time with me on your time off because you're on Zoom, and now like things are starting to loosen up, and for some people it's easier to get out and about. I really appreciate that you continue to come to class, and I really commit to you that you're going to be shocked at where you are in a year. After a year of doing classes, doing all these different things, you're going to love where you are. You're going to want to be better. You're going to want to like be this dedication that you're showing will be rewarded with a real boost up in skill and also a real feeling of accomplishment. You're getting washboard abs for your brain.
Yeah, I wish that would go for the body too.
Right, Diana? I know.
A year of pandemic is not
It's hard
good.
on the body. It's true. It's hard on the middle-aged body. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So hard.
Sure is.
Like I said, I have this amazing teacher who teaches this really brutal class at 6:30 in the morning, my time, which is I found the only time I can go consistently. And really, it is true. We started off at a community center, like I was there with a bunch of people. We all came to that class pretty religiously, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then the pandemic happened, and she immediately switched over to Zoom. I think there was one class that she didn't do, and then she just figured it out. And it is like, I don't know, like it means something to like miss a class. Like if I miss a class, it's noted. I missed a class. Where are you? Right? Like, so even though half the time I don't really feel like getting up and doing it, I still do it. That does not mean I have washboard abs, but it does mean like I'll keep showing up for a good teacher.
I wish I had that discipline.
You
I'm
have
glad
it for
I've-
painting.
Yeah, I'm getting it for painting. I have to add, I guess, an hour
Yeah, for
Before the
exercise,
painting.
right?
before the painting.
It's it all depends on when you're your best. When I think a lot of this is figuring out when do you do. It's true for art and it's true for exercise. When are you most likely to do your best work? For me, it used to be. Now I can really switch it up with painting. I can really fit it into my schedule whenever I need to. But for me, like early mornings are really my best time to show up and get things, that kind of stuff done. So, but for other people, it's late at night,
It
So just
used to be. It used to be late at night for me.
For
but-
you, yeah.
Yeah, because I worked the night shift, so I was always like,
Right. Awake and up at night. Yep. I can see that.
but it's going away.
Yeah, so it's just looking at your current life and then figuring out where can I fit this in and where will I most likely be, and what do I need to show up? Do I need a live person noting that I'm there? I'm not here. Do I need a person? Do I just need to have the space and the time? And then I'd prefer actually videos that I can review, or just a book or just a space to paint or to do your exercise, whatever it is. Like you just figure out what are the things. You create a system so that it makes it easier to do everything. Let's see, Stephanie. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take a couple of, this is great in a lot of ways. Can you see what's going on with your, can you see the problem with your right side? Stephanie, what's going on there?
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Oh, that's okay. What's the problem with this side?
It's a little crooked.
It's curving too much, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to be straighter.
Okay.
And it also needs to come out a little bit wider. So really look at, so I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do this measurement and see. Oh, look what's happening here. Part of the problem is that this mouth is not wide enough.
Okay.
And in fact, when I look at your grid, hold on, let me look at this and right side up. So this, look at the length. This length from here to here is virtually the same as this width, which surprised me too when I saw it. But that is the truth. It's weird. Yep. Oh yeah, you look, you have this in where, okay. It's interesting. Your grid, there's something off with the grid. Can't quite see what it is, but in any event, this needs to come out wider. And then you're going to be able to correct that. So what happened is because this was narrow, you sort of went in like this. Can you see that? And really, if this is wider, you're going to be able to get that angled line in much better. Just trying to think.
It's like straighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straighter.
Okay.
So it needs to come out more and then it goes in. Yeah, it is much more straight. It's easy to really. Okay, Mira, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, proportions look good, really good, Mira. But you did the same thing. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's really obvious when you see it. You went, this is a straight line. You went burp, burp, right? And then you made this straight down here, right? That's not actually a straight line. This is also a curved line.
Curve. Okay.
Yeah, so pay attention to those curve lines. And then, and then as well, this is better. This is pretty good, but really pay attention to that side because that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Sure. Good job, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, the pastel landscapes class was also chopped in half by me last week, but Holly was able to edit it back together. Sometimes things happen. On Wednesday, I feel like Wednesday is where all my mishaps happen. On Wednesday, we have, I rent part of my house out as an Airbnb unit, and the router is in where the people rent is in the place where the people rent, because I live in a basement. So you can't really have a router in a basement. It doesn't work. And
So you can't restart it if it's
I
rented.
can't, I have to go in, right? Yes, I mean, and it was in a bedroom that was being used by the two cutest little girls you've ever seen. They were 2 and 4, but every time they went into their bedroom, they knocked off the router. They unplugged the router just by running around, doing what little girls do. So I was consistently having to run up and go and then, I'd run up and they'd want to play. And I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get back to class. Like, you are totally cute. And I have to go back to class now.
You have to find another solution for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna move it, but it's involved, right? Because you need a W landline and to plug the the modem in, and I have these new Google Wi-Fi repeaters that help spread the Wi-Fi more evenly around the house. So it's probably possible to move it now, but I still need this particular kind of plug, which I don't think exists in most of the other places in the house.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm doing a koala.
Okay.
I'm going to send you
The
this is the drawing
source.
part. I want to
Okay.
paint it, but yes.
Were you doing the koala?
Oh, you're doing the koala oh, yay.
I'm doing a koala.
A koala.
I mean, not the lemur, but a koala.
Yay, koala. See, Sandra has just taken matters into her own hands, and she's doing exactly what she wants to do. She's like,
Life
do
is
it.
short, right?
Life is short. You're absolutely right. And we can incorporate that. I really created this curriculum, which is more follow along. I mean, I used to teach all my classes like that. All my classes where you could do whatever you wanted and I would help you. What I learned when I went from like kind of in person to online is that it was really hard to teach certain techniques. So if I could take a subject and isolate it for you and work with the material with you up close like this, we could begin to practice and build skill. But it's absolutely not required. Anybody can work on anything they want. The lessons are just like for people who are beginners, and people who are not beginners who want to kind of boost their skills. Oh, for God's sakes. Look at that nose.
Oh, that is
my.
the cutest picture.
Oh my heavens. I'm just looking to see that you got
I think the angle is not quite right, but
yes,
I would have to completely redo. But having said that, it doesn't have to be the exact.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I'm just looking. Forehead looks good. Ears look the right size.
And it's naturally in my colors, blue and purple.
Yes, that's right. Oh, how stinking cute is that? Look at his little mouth.
Yeah.
His heart-shaped
They have
mouth.
little eyes, huh?
Yeah, little teeny eyes. So cute. Not like the lemur, which is kind of the opposite.
No, the opposite. And their fur, the body fur looks like boiled wool.
Oh God, how cute. All right, I would say, yeah, just keep, that looks good to me.
Okay, he's ready to paint.
Yep, he's ready to paint. So just remember, Sandra, to preserve the lightest areas of this animal. Do not paint the lightest areas of the animal. You may
just
go
make
over
it, leave
later.
it white.
Just leave it white. You don't have to make it white, right? Because it already is white. So just leave it white.
But because of that, I've purposely chosen animals that don't have white. Because with a guinea pig, it was a disaster. There was so much white.
Because you didn't know how to do that. we're going to practice on, you're going to, you need to practice white. You need to not run away from white, but I
But
get
need
it
to
because
practice it with fur, because the difference with fur and a normal surface is that even though there's white fur, there's the impression that the white fur overlays something.
I know. Yep. I know. What I like to do with fur is do a very light glaze of color that disappears almost to nothing. So you start with that, and then you layer darkers on. You layer darker bits on, but you let some of that come through. So that is a very, very light glaze of color, whatever is happening. That is the best
Did I
way
do
to
that with him?
Yes,
Like
you
a very,
totally
very light
can.
gray?
So let me look at his colors. My recommendation would be, hold on, let me get there.
I'm showing him to you.
Yeah, I see him. My recommendation would be start with kind of a orangey
Very like
pink.
gray beige.
I'd say an orangey pink layer is what you want to start with.
Ooh.
Very
I can't.
light. Yes, you can. So Sandra, remember, you start by testing on another piece of paper. So if you're not sure about how to do that, or you're not sure how that's going to look, you start by testing on another piece of paper.
So, but what color are you saying?
I'm saying an orangey pink color would be the base. And then you'll lay light, and then you'll lay blues. You'll lay blue washes on top. So test with kind of an orangey pink, like a burnt sienna, and maybe a very watery light burnt sienna, and then take some blues, let that dry, and then take some blues and try like sort of a wash of blue in areas over the burnt sienna, over the top as it dries. So start with, and don't do it on your painting, do it on a test piece of paper so that you know what happens. Right. The biggest issue with watercolor is that you're constantly testing first to see, will this work?
So burnt sienna with some orange, did you say? Or
No,
pink?
no, burnt sienna with a little pink, a touch of pink, but a very light layer. And then see what happens as you kind of layer light, slightly darker blue layers over it. But you want to let it dry, the first layer dry, right? You don't want to completely cover. See what happens with the consistency there with testing, with working that way. See, it's way easier with white, I'm telling you. If you have white in this, and then you have these areas you don't actually have to paint, and you have places where the texture is really obvious because you work the edge. But try that and see what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah. Super light. We got about 15 minutes left, everybody. Does it feel like, yeah, can you believe it? Does it feel like an hour and 45 minutes has gone by?
No.
Oh, it's much better, Mira, much better.
Okay, thank you.
So just keep working on more of those. Did you get the curve going up here on the bottom?
Yeah, I did a little bit. It's still.
Yeah, it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So look at what that curve is, not what you think it is. Look at it. It's like really steep. See?
Yeah, it is.
It's really steep. So get that in there.
Okay,
don't work with what, and then notice that this is a light edge, right?
Right.
So you need to go back and add that in. I like what you've got going on back here, though. This is nice. Very nice. There's darks here, there's a dark here, and then a light edge, and let's see. Oh, Jane improved for sure. There's something, this it's not an even. Look at this. You have this. So Jane, another shape. This is a curved line that goes up. Yours goes down. See that? That's down. This is actually a curved line. Fix this.
Okay.
Look at this shape. This is really a perfectly symmetrical shape. Same with this one here. Yours is kind of going, it's kind of going up and down, and practice. You want to make this a smoother. I think the problem is you're curving your line too much. It's really a much straighter line. Let me show you this. Whoop, dang it, sorry. I just dropped this, but I'm going to show you what this looks like. Look at this. It's all straight here.
Yeah.
And then it's curved here. That's what this looks like. It's not this, right? That's not what's happening. So, but I think you make this happen. We make this happen because we exaggerate the curve, and this kind of goes like this. So it's mostly straight lines that
Got it.
interact. That'll help you with that symmetry.
Nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Got it.
I want to put a shout out to continuing the basics approach for this class too.
Oh
Even
yes, of course.
after
Yeah.
a year, we're going to be really good. I'm not there.
You're making they say that to be a good artist you have to make 10,000 mistakes. You're well on your way to becoming a good artist. Everybody, and that's for everybody. That ain't just for you. That's for everybody. Also, you haven't done it in a little while. Okay, so Nina, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Look at this. I don't know what happened here with your measurements, but something is off because here, hold on. Go away there. Here, what? Go away. Ah, there we are. If you look at the size of this, remember, once again, if you measure this and you compare it to this, they are the same length. If you do this, yes. So you weren't really paying attention to your, you're not paying attention to where things actually are in your, you're not using your grid very effectively, I guess is what I would say. Notice where things actually are versus where you've got them. This is pretty wide. That means this is going to come out. So if that's what, yes, so this is much, this has got to be much wider. This has got to be as wide as it is tall. That will help you.
Should I just erase both sides then?
Yep, yeah, indeed.
For
Very
some
nice.
reason, turning it upside down really confuses me.
It's because you're arguing, you're trying to figure out what it is. You need to stop doing that. You need to start looking at shapes and stop thinking about what it is you're drawing.
Okay.
Stop thinking about, stop arguing, stop, your left brain is fighting you and you need to get it to shape up.
Yeah,
shape
that's
up.
Part. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what happened here, but like when I look at, I'm looking to see where your grid is.
I erased it. I erased my grid, sorry.
Yeah, so your grid is like, I mean, this is not, I'm sure this is not where your grid was. I don't think you followed the grid. And then I don't think you're paying attention to this shape versus this shape. You know what I mean? That's like what's happening. Like it's, you got to stop trying to think about what it is and just look at shapes and lines. Shape, 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 right? They're just shapes, dark and light shapes. Nice, Olga. Although Olga, this doesn't, it looks a little like the, okay, let's see. It's darker here. I'm going to get sort of nitpicky with you. I want to see more of the light detail coming through.
Okay.
Also, you also have a cup that is not here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to check. Maybe this is okay, but I feel, yep. This needs to be a little bit wider, right? Because this should be the same width.
Yeah.
Actually, it's okay. Just a little bit. It needs to flute out a little bit on either side. So you've got a little bit more width there in the mouth. Nice otherwise. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Anyway, remember, this is not a competition, everybody. You're all going to go at your own pace.
You're telling us.
Everybody's going to learn the way they learn. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This just came across my Instagram. This is a friend of mine who's a painter who's doing a values study. Look at how beautiful that is. And look at how it's just light and dark shapes. See how soft and beautiful that is? That's just, there's like 10 dark shapes and 5 dark shapes and 8 medium shapes and then like 6 light shapes. That's really what it is. And look at how much it conveys. Look how emotional and beautiful that is. This is shapes. This is what it is to think in shapes and not in what is this thing. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah, there's the koala.
Let's see. Oop. Dang it. Sorry, I just lost WhatsApp. Let me get back to it. Okay, although I did ask you, darling, to try and test some of this. This will totally work, but I do want you to test some of this layering on another piece of paper before you. Did you? Did you like it?
You mean to test?
I mean to test how it looks when you put one on top of the other. Remember, we spent a whole lesson.
I tested the color.
The color, but did you test?
Off.
Then did you test putting another color on top of it?
No.
Okay, so that's what I want you to do. This is fine, but before you lay any more colors down on this painting, I want you to test them and see how they look layered on top of the other colors. You're still thinking too much like each thing is a separate, I'm just using one color for each thing. You've got to like practice the layering and you need to do it, definitely do it on another piece of paper so that you're not, you don't overdo it. Like if you're going to make any mistakes, it'll happen in the testing. But I do like this. I think this is good, but no more paint on this until you have some layers. I think it's so
pale that it can't go wrong, really. But...
Well, yes, but like you could easily go too dark. That's my point. So I want you to now stop and test some layering.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
The pale gray doesn't go well on top of it.
So maybe you use too much, like maybe, and anyway, wait a minute. So you want to like layer a few colors on top to see what works. Maybe it's how you've layered it. So this is where the testing part comes in. You've got to practice this before you get anything on your watercolor. So I want you to get used to that idea that you don't touch your painting until you have a general idea of what's going to happen when you put one color over another. You can lay like some gray on and then try adding wet to it, water to it to, melt it out a little bit. I want you to play around with the technique in a safe environment. I know the tendency is to want to paint every little bit of fur and every line of fur, and you can't really, that won't work for you here. These are sort of soft, sort of grainy washes that have little bits of color coming through. So you're going to need to find another way of expressing that. And I think it's layering the different colors on top, maybe doing a little pulling out. You might take your blankie, pull out a little bit as you're going through and laying it down. Try a couple things.
No. Shit. Sorry. I've started a new kitty.
All right. We'll send it over. In fact, let's stop here. Go ahead, and I'm going to remove the spotlight. I'm just going to check in with everybody. Let's see where you got to. Tell me, starting with Diana, what's one thing that you got that you're really happy with that you got out of this class, out of this time? It doesn't have to be something that was taught. It just has to be out of your work.
I got to get out of my head for a little while.
Nice. Sandra, what about you? What's one thing you got out of this class?
I'm still doing it.
Okay, you're still on it. She's still in it. You stay in it. Stay in it, girl. Stay in it. Julia, what about you? What's one thing you learned in this class that you think you did well?
Well, I enjoyed the charcoal, but I also enjoyed the fact that I was able to try and semi-finish my. Oh, you can't see me. There we go.
Yes, there we are.
I went back to the pastel class from last Sunday, and I
Oh,
wasn't happy with the trees around the edges, so I've done a bit more to that, and I'm feeling a lot happier with it.
you're feeling pleased. You're having all this ability to be able to problem solve as you have more practice with all the different things. What about you, Olga?
I'm just really happy to spend my Saturday with you. I'm happy about this one. And
Yay, me too. I'm happy too. Mira, what about you? What do you think you did well today?
I think I did shape was mostly good.
Yeah, you're getting better.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
You're getting
but as
better.
Olga said, I'm just looking forward to my Saturday with you. So
I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to my Saturday with you guys. Jane, what do you think? What did you think you got at? What did you think you did well in this class?
I think I'm enjoying playing with the pencils and simply doing the lines, however many times I do them. But I like seeing everybody. I like seeing how everybody else does their work. You know,
Isn't it fun?
Everybody who's ahead of me. I enjoy seeing everyone with me.
It's really fun. I agree. I think that's the fun part. That's why the thread is really important. And even when you're not in class, you can see what everybody's doing, which I think is kind of cool. Stephanie, what about you?
I also have just enjoyed focusing on something different for a couple hours. And
You
then
mean other than a baby?
Wait, what?
You have a baby, right? Oh no,
No.
Vanessa has the baby. That's right. Sorry,
I do
Vanessa.
not.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I was like, not that
You're
I'm
like,
aware.
what? No baby.
But yeah, I liked seeing the image and then initially saying, oh, how can I do that? And then a couple hours later, oh, it's like pretty close.
Yeah.
Closest.
Yeah. Great work. Nina, what about you?
I liked the shading. I found it very calming. The
It
different
is, isn't it?
values. Yeah. It's the first time I've actually enjoyed it. So
yes, because I think you're actually getting into it, right? And what's interesting about this particular image is it's more loose. It's sort of soft. There's a lot of blending of edges. So it's not your typical cup, like, right, with all these straight edges everywhere. There's areas that are lost. There's areas that are, so it's easy to get lost in the shading. It's nice.
yeah, it's worth to do the exercise again in charcoal. I just find pencil or graphite is more challenging for me. So I wanted to do graphite because I won't go back then if I start using charcoal. I have a feeling.
Well, you don't have to. I never did. I mean, I go with pencil. I use pencil, but charcoal is my favorite. My charcoal is where I really began to learn to draw. So also don't resist what works for you to get you to the next stage. I'm now very happy using a pencil, and particularly with watercolor, it's wonderful. But if you like charcoal, you should go to charcoal. I'll send over supply lists.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Hannah, how about you? What do you think you did well in class today in this assignment?
Is Hannah on mute?
Yes, maybe she's on mute. All right, you guys. Wonderful work today. Lots of growth. I see lots of growth. I love that you are here with each other, and I love that you are here with me. It's an honor. And let's just keep going. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
bye everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.